Hello, hello to all the parents of the next generation. It's Megan Barella here, your positive parenting and happy home guide. Somehow, this is my first live of 2025, so it's great to be here with you today. If you are catching the replay, say hello, let me know how you're doing. January and February 2025, the longest years of our lives, right? It's kind of hard to imagine what the next 4 years are going to be like. And I keep reminding myself, my son, this is a time to really get involved locally. And for those of us who are parents, to really follow the Decolonized Parenting experts. And also, this is an invitation to commit to our positive parenting and conscious parenting journey because, oh shoot, it says slow connection. Hopefully we're still here. Because everything that's going on in our country is really this extension of 500 years of white supremacy. And unfortunately, it's right online when we have access to the true history and education about the history of our country and of our world. And so what does that mean for us as parents? It means that I'm finding a lot of people just particularly overwhelmed and depleted because it's not like parenting and life weren't stressful enough before this time. And yet, what we know for sure, what the research says, that it's our optimism and hope for the future, for a positive world and life for our children that is connected to our kids' emotional well-being and resiliency. And so that's what I'm here today to hold us all in this state of parenting in 2025. Whatever stressors and unique challenges and factors that you're working on in your family, remember that stress is always the problem, not you and your children. And so what I did is I took everything that's going on in our world and the top messages that I always share with my happy home coaching positive parenting clients, and I put them into this guide, and I'm going to drop the link below. I put 6 messages into our how to upgrade our parenting for this year, and today I'm going to talk about those upgrades in just a little bit. So let's talk about a little bit where we are in the state of parenting today. So what I'm helping parents let go of is fear, shame, and blame in our parenting. And that is connected to our decolonized parenting journey. Make sure to follow the experts. And it's the way that discipline has been used as a tool of oppression throughout the centuries for the last 500 years. And so think of the word discipline and what associations do you have with the word discipline? Because for me, I always thought that discipline meant to punish, but actually discipline means to teach. And this is something that we talk about in positive discipline a lot. Part of the tools of a colonized parenting paradigm is corporal punishment. So in the 1960s, behavior psychologists said we have to reform corporal punishment and corporal discipline methods. So what they did is they got out the lab rats, right? And they put the lab rats on a wheel and they did a series of experiments, right? So picture lab rat going around the wheel and the lab rat gets a piece of cheese. So the lab rat then has a positive association, or it's a positive reinforcement for going around on the wheel. Now round 2, the lab rat's on the wheel and the lab rat gets a little electric shock. And then the lab rat has a negative association, or that's a negative reinforcement for the wheel. So what behavior psychologists said is they said, well, we just modified the behavior of lab rats We use positive and negative reinforcements a lot with dogs, right? Let's apply it to parenting, to education, to raising children. And so the foundational premises of the discipline practices that most of us were raised with are based on the way lab rats' brains work and dogs' brains work. And so there's nothing inherently wrong with positive and negative reinforcements. What does that look like in parenting? It's praise, the reward chart, earning extra screen time, earning a sweet treat. It's timeouts. It's taking away screen time. It's taking away sweet treats. Anyway, and very often a consequence is taking away the parental or the teacher love and respect and admiration for that child. So while there's nothing inherently wrong with using consequences and rewards in your parenting, just keep in mind, they were not formulated for the way human brains work. And a consequence and reward is never going to reach the highest potentials, help us cultivate the highest potentials of the human brain. Furthermore, if you have a neurodiverse kid, consequences and rewards are not going to work. And that's why I work mostly with parents of neurodiverse kids, because neurodiverse kids I consider my co-creators. They are at the forefront of helping us shift into a brain-based model of parenting. So what are the challenges with shifting out of this behaviorist model of consequences and rewards that isn't designed for the way human brains work, and that's going to put people into boxes of good and bad based on their behavior? So most of us were raised with this behaviorist model, and in school we knew who the good kids were or the bad kids. Kids were put into boxes of smart or not academic, of athletes or not. And so the punishment and reward model, by its nature, it limits human potential. It puts people in boxes of good or bad based on their behavior, and it pits the adult against the child. So there is a winner and a loser. Either we force or we manipulate the child's behavior and we win, or the kids push back so much and overpower us and they're the winner. And the consequences and rewards, if you are using them in your parenting or teaching and you feel like they are effective, that's probably because you already have the foundation in place of what kids' brains do need today. And that's positive relationship connection with us and working towards empowerment and developing solutions with our kids, instead of this message that we have to pay for our mistakes and our misbehavior, which is what most of us grew up with. So the challenge is that, one, most of us were raised with consequences and rewards. It's what we know. It's our default parenting, and it's really going to come out when we're stressed. Number two, shifting into a brain-based model rooted in positive relationship connection with our kids and empowerment, developing solutions and problem solving. That is a whole new skill set that we have to teach or we get to teach ourselves so we can develop it in the next generation. And it's way more abstract. Why? One of the reasons parents fall back on consequences and rewards is because they're concrete and they're tangible. And when we're stressed out, we need something concrete and tangible to fall back on. So I help bridge that gap. Going from a behaviorist model of discipline is punishment, discipline as fear, that pits us against our kids, that isn't formulated for the highest potentials of the human brain, and that limits human potential by putting people into boxes of good and bad. And I help parents learn a skill set where we are leading. We have to be in our proper leadership role. We're bringing out the best in our kids. We're able to transform challenges and negative behavior and mistakes into teachable moments to affirm life skills, character development, and positive behavior. And helping bridge that gap based on the unique challenges, levels of stress, and reality in your family. And so if we're overwhelmed with the state of the world right now, one of the things that we can anchor into is our parenting and how we are parenting for social change, to align our discipline as teaching instead of discipline as punishment, to align our discipline practices and our discipline tools with our family values and our values in life, to raise a generation of secure and socially conscious children who can advocate for social change, can stand up for fairness and justice in their communities, because we've modeled those tools in our discipline practices. So if you feel overwhelmed with the state of the world, the state of humanity, and if you also feel overwhelmed in your parenting, then I encourage you to sign up for my free guide, Upgrade Our Parenting 2025. And this week, I'm going to be talking about the 6 key messages in that guide. These are the 6 key messages that I tell my clients again and again, and what's going to help us bridge the gap from a behaviorist to a brain-based model of teaching. And to sample the key messages, to give you an overview, message number 1 is be the keeper of the positive vision in your family. So often we focus on, no, don't do that. No, stop. I won't let you. And we focus on the negative behavior challenges, the negative behavior, which actually solidifies the behavior we're trying to change. So I teach parents how to be the keeper of the positive vision in your family, to translate the challenges and the misbehavior into what you do want to see, positive behavior, virtues, or positive life character traits, and development of social skills. And then once you're clear on your mind and you're able to lead and hold that positive vision, I teach you how to translate it into kid speak. So there's ease of cooperation with your children. Number 2 message, unlocking inherent goodness. This is something that we really have to reclaim, most of us, from the discipline practices we were either raised with at home or in our school system. That we are all universally and inherently good people. And as good people, we're going to mess up. We're going to make mistakes. We're going to misbehave as adults, and our kids are going to misbehave. But that doesn't change the fact that we're all good people. And when I'm working with teachers, this is one of the main things that I work on because of the way that we were raised and that consequences and reward model. It's very debilitating for us as a people, where when we mess up, either as a parent, when we're struggling, when we have a challenge, and most of us are struggling today as parents because stress levels are so high, that we come down hard on ourselves with parenting guilt, parenting shame, self-judgment, self-criticism, and we feel like we're not good enough, that we're messing up our kids. And so when you can really unlock that inherent and universal goodness within you, everything shifts. And one of my clients was saying, oh, Dr. Becky, maybe some of you know her, that's really the foundation of her work. Number 3, key message. Give yourself the emotional support that you needed as a child. This is the game changer as far as healthy emotional development in the next generation. Most of us didn't have the optimal support that we needed as children ourselves. So think about if you were trying to teach your kids how to ride a bike or read a book and you didn't know how would that go? Would you be able to teach them? That'd be really challenging, right? That's exactly what's happening for most of us today when we go to support our children's emotions. We did not have the proper emotional support from our own parents and caregivers. So we have to give that to ourselves first. So it's on autopilot within us. What are our emotional needs in day-to-day life? then we can support our children's emotions. And I feel like there's a lot of pressure. It's been beautiful to have the awareness about co-regulation, but really that just puts additional pressure on parents today. We've got to fill that gap from our own childhood and be able to give ourselves the emotional support that we needed as children so we can give it to our kids today. So if you're connecting with these messages, make sure that you sign up for our Upgrade Our Parenting. Okay, message number 4, being able to extract the strength from the challenge. Now, I used to think, well, we have personal strengths and then we have things we're working on, challenges or weaknesses or areas for growth. And I used to think they were totally separate. And when I started supporting parents, you all taught me that there is a continuum. If you think of the trait, it's kind of like a raw material. When the trait has the support that it needs, it becomes a personal strength. When that same trait does not have the support that it needs, when it's under stress, it becomes a personal challenge or a perceived weakness. And we see this a lot with our kids who are strong-willed and highly sensitive, or our neurodiverse kids, that the strength is actually in its detriment. It's in its place of challenge, and we see that a lot with maybe emotional dysregulation or power struggles, defiant behavior. So what I come in and do is write the strength from the existing challenge, right, into empathy, into really honoring the big hearts that kids have today, or in developing empowerment and leadership skills in the next generation. So that's extracting the strength from the challenge, and I do that with us as adults as well. Number 5 is cultivating mutual respect. This is huge today. Okay, just like I always thought discipline meant to punish, what is your definition of the word respect? What comes to mind? For me, it's like respect is like, do what I say. It's kind of a little bit of fear in there. But the definition of respect is actually closer than the definition of love than I ever realized. Respect does not mean fear. It means holding one another in high regard, in admiration, and in warm approval. And so one of the top reasons parents find me, in addition to a lot of emotional dysregulation and power struggles, is disrespectful behavior. Kids thinking that they're entitled today. And so how can we anchor into, we are modeling high regard, admiration, and warm approval for ourselves. We're holding that expectation, and then we're interacting with our kids from that place when they are being disrespectful. So we're holding mutual respect as the gold standard in our family. And key message number 6, our parenting upgrades for 25 is empowerment as this generation's number 1 motivator. This generation of kids, they stand for fairness and justice. They're ready to be leaders in their own life, whatever that looks like for them. We have to learn how to unlock it. Otherwise, that raw trait is going to become a challenge, and we're going to see a lot of power struggles, a lot of defiance, a lot of disrespect, a lot of rebellion. And that's because the strength in there is this generation of kids is ready to lead. So when we can shift into a brain-based approach, we raise a generation of secure and socially conscious children who are ready to stand up for justice and fairness in their community. So I'd love to hear, which of the 6 upgrades did you connect with most? And then make sure, sign up for the Upgrade Our Parenting Guide. You'll have each of the 6 key messages in one place. And then when you sign up, you'll get access to work with me to apply the 6 key messages to your family at a special rate that I'm offering for everyone in the Upgrade Our Parenting community. Okay, be good to yourself. This is a stressful time in parenting. This is a stressful time in the world. Take care of yourself. Anchor into your basic needs as a parent and as a person. And remember that alone we struggle, and together we can do this. We are all together working to shift out of fear-based parenting, rooted in shame and blame, rooted in limiting human potential, and putting people and children into boxes of good and bad. That's what we're letting go of. And we're here to upgrade our parenting 2025. There has never been a better time to do it with the state of the world, the state of the country, the state of the presidency in the US. Now is the time to uproot that negative legacy of white supremacy that is still alive today, and it's alive in our parenting practices. Make sure that you're following the Decolonized Parenting experts. And this is the time to anchor in to a brain-based parenting approach that affirms the positive relationship that we have with our children and anchors into this generation's empowerment and leadership. I'll see you in Upgrade Our Parenting 2025. Oh, couple other ways that we can connect. This is winter and spring are my biggest times for professional development trainings. I do offer trainings for early childhood educators, for teachers, and also for parents. And I come into individual schools, but I also do larger statewide trainings with hundreds of people live. I love talking to big groups. And I also offer corporate wellness trainings for larger groups as well. So do keep me in mind for speaking and professional development trainings, both for educators and for parents and caregivers. And then I have open enrollment for Happy Home Coaching. And I have 2 spots left for the spring session. This is a very individualized, customized, positive parenting experience of transformation, where I take the Happy Home Coaching methodology that I've developed, co-created, working with thousands of parents and caregivers over the last 12 years, and I've developed it into a methodology. We meet weekly for sessions for 8 to 12 weeks, and this is intensive intervention level support. You actually have access on call to me. So when you're working with real life challenges with your kids, I'm there in voice memo to walk you through every step of the way. So please, again, be good to yourself, anchor into your basic needs during this time, and remember that we're all here in this shift from fear to trust-based discipline, and that alone we struggle, but together we can do it. So I'll see you on the inside when you sign up for the Upgrade Our Parenting. You will get access to the 6 key messages and a special invite and opportunity to work with me. So be good to yourselves, and I'll see you again next time. Okay, take care, and thanks for joining. This is my first live of 2025. Okay, all the best and lots of love and support.